So, looking at this on paper, trying to figure out how this all fits together, and how you've got two different rooms for a writer person, agent person. You had what, 15 years at Spectrum Literary Agency before you joined the Night Agency.
Yeah.
That's 2008. So that's what now. That's been I'm so bad at math. Another 14 years
Yeah.
on top of the original 15. So when did you wanted to be a writer since you're 11? So how does that parlay into your becoming a literary agent? And then also, when do you feel confident enough that yes, I would accept this. I wouldn't reject me this time.
um, okay, so yeah, I've been in the business 29 years. So actually, again, the thing that I've always loved was writing, but also reading. And when I okay, so I was a writing and anthropology double major. And my two areas of fascination in anthropology were forensic anthropology and comparative religion, which are two completely different aspects of anthropology. One is cultural anthropology, one is physical anthropology. Anyway, so when I got when I got my BA, I applied to graduate school in forensic anthropology, and I applied to jobs in publishing because I had also always wanted to be in publishing. But my father, who is diehard practical and everything, said, "You'll never get a job in publishing." My dad sounds like Lurch. I can't do his voice. Let me try. So my father sounds like Lurch. And he told me I'd never get a job in publishing. Never, never, never. And I decided I wanted a job in publishing anyway, and I was going to do my damnedest to get it. And I applied to jobs in publishing, again, applied to graduate school. And when I got my interview at Spectrum Literary Agency, I happened to be reading, so here's where my worlds collided. I happened to be reading a book by Ken Goddard, who ran the national, maybe still runs the National Fish and Wildlife Forensic Lab out in Ashland, Oregon. And he had a book about a team of fish and wildlife agents. And I was reading it, and I went into the interview, and the book was in my bag, as if I'd planned it, but I hadn't. And we're doing the interview, and I see the book up on the shelf, and I said, "I'm reading that book, and it's amazing." And I took it out so she could see that I really was reading it. And from that point on, my interview with Eleanor Wood just went off on the tangent of books, and we were just talking about science fiction and fantasy and mystery and all of these wonderful books. And about a week later, I got a call, and they asked me some follow-up questions. And at which point they said, "Well, because I was fresh out of college, other people have more experience, but, we really feel that you love books and that our books and what we do, and we'd like to offer you the job on a, trial basis and see how you do. And would you like that?" And I said, "Well, yes, of course I would." And so that's how I started my job at Spectrum Literary Agency. And it really was fate. And that is how I started off there. So I really always had wanted to work in publishing, but I really didn't know at the time that agents existed. I knew editors existed. And so I thought I wanted to be an editor. And editors are wonderful and amazing. But after starting at Spectrum, it was only about 6 to 8 months or something like that before I was allowed to take on my first client. And I did not sell my first client, but I sold my second client, who's Christy Golden, who I still work with today. And it just from there, I never left. I stayed there for 15 years. And then when I did move on, I moved on to the Night Agency. And I've been there for 14 years. And I've just been really happy as an agent, being able to take on what I want and sell to various lines, work with various wonderful editors, and work with just amazing, brilliant people. I can't think of a better job.
And did your father ever admit his mistake?
No, my father is never wrong. My father admits he was right in allowing me to change majors, because when I first went to college, I was only allowed to take English on the understanding that I also took education to fall back on, because I would never get a job in publishing. But I was a presidential scholar, and that allowed me some leeway in the majors and the classes I took and everything. And I had 2 advisors as a presidential scholar who helped me like really get my argument set for my dad when I decided to change to just English writing and anthropology. So I really had my arguments all lined up when I went to my dad to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to change my majors. And I got on the phone with him and I argued, and my father said, right. And I kept arguing because he's never agreed with me ever we still have never seen eye to eye on I think anything. And I kept arguing, and I think I was like 5 minutes beyond that when I said, wait a minute, what? And realized that he'd said, okay. So no, he admits that he was right in allowing me to change majors, but he was never wrong, ever. I'm sorry, Dad, if you're
Until I
listening to this
became more right,
podcast.
is what I'm hearing.
Right, right, right.
And you graduated summa cum laude, right, from the State University of New York.
Yeah,
Just more evidence of that type A personality. You go 100% on anything you ever do, yeah?
yeah, and I graduated early.
Of course. It's not just a morning walk, it's a 5-mile walk, and it's brisk. I love it.
Yeah, I was kind of worried when I moved to Florida from New York that I would lose my edge. I really was. But apparently I carry it with me, so it's not a problem.